infrastructure sector be noted.
Mr Speaker.
I call on Chris Bishop.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Well, Budget 2017 is under a month away, and we've already had a sneak peek at some of it from the Minister of Finance last week with the extremely exciting announcement about a big capital injection infrastructure package. But the debate this afternoon, Mr Chair, is of course the tail end of Budget 2015, which was a good budget for New Zealand, Mr Speaker, or Mr Chair, and demonstrated a confident government in charge of an increasingly confident country. And it's my pleasure to take the opening call on the economic development and infrastructure sector. And the interesting thing about this theme, I guess you would say, Sir, is that there's a lot of committees and a lot of different votes within it. And I want to concentrate on three particular aspects of economic development and infrastructure. And the first is in vote communications, and that is the investment that the government is making through the budget process into Rural Broadband Initiative 2 and also the Mobile Black Spot Fund. And, Sir, the budget appropriates more. The budget we're talking about, of course, appropriates more money for both those initiatives, and the Rural Broadband first stage has been extremely successful, and Rural Broadband 2 will be successful. But I know, Sir, having recently been lobbying for an extension of the Mobile Black Spot Fund in the rural part of the Wainuiomata area in the mighty fine Hutt Valley, that is something that is absolutely crucial for rural communities. And I know it's something that my colleagues spread out around the country from Invercargill with Sarah Dowie to Alistair Scott in the Wairarapa, or Todd Barclay, or any of my colleagues. Jonathan Young, I see waving his hand up over there. He makes a very strong bid always for this funding. But people think that the Hutt Valley is a predominantly urban area, and that's true. But we also have rural areas in the Hutt as well, including down in the Coast Road in Wainuiomata. I have been supporting the rural residents there for the installation of a cell phone tower to increase or get rid of that mobile black spot. So it's very welcome, the funding in the budget for that. The second thing I want to mention is vote economic development, Sir. And recently we've had the extremely exciting news from Stats New Zealand that business research and development expenditure in the country is up 29%. And this is something that members opposite, I know, are very interested in, because members opposite like to talk about how we need to build a more innovative economy, we need to invest in research and development, and then we need to diversify our economy. And the good news for members opposite is that that is happening. Right around New Zealand, right around the country, there are hundreds of firms exporting on the world stage, doing battle on the world stage and diversifying the New Zealand economy in medical technology, in ICT and so many different areas. And the good news for members opposite is that the latest Stats New Zealand report onto business research and development, business R&D in 2016, shows that the government's sustained investment over many budgets into Callaghan Innovation and into some of the black hole tax expenditure changes that we've made, those investments and those changes to the grants program are starting to bear fruit. A massive 29% increase in business R&D between 2014 and 2016, up $356 million since 2014. That is a sizable increase. We've still got a long way to go. We've got to get up. We've got to get that research and development spending by business and government as well. We've got to increase it even further, but that's a great start. And I think it's testament to the changes that successive ministers of science and innovation have made in that space. And of course, Budget 2016 increases that investment through the Innovative New Zealand package and puts more money into mission-led science, puts more money into contestable science, spends more money and invests greater Crown resources into growing those start-up businesses that are such a vital part of the New Zealand economy of the future. And the third thing I just want to briefly mention in kicking off this debate, Sir, is the change from New Zealand Trade and Enterprise Focus 500 to Focus 700. And I was just reading the report, Sir, and there was a question asked in the Select Committee that considered this. Why is NZTE making this change from 500 to 700? And the answer is because there are more businesses out there in New Zealand that need NZTE support on the world stage. There are more businesses, 700 fast-growing companies on the world stage that need government support in those offshore markets where they can make a difference and grow their exports. And that's why it happened, and that's what's given effect to in the budget, sir. So it's a pleasure to kick off this debate. I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Mr Stuart Nash.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair.